Hello and welcome. It looks like we are just starting off today's informational webinars. We reached the top of the hour and open up today's session to all of you. It's good to have you here. We are now telling you all about this upcoming program at Northwestern Kellogg Executive Education School of Management, Data Strategy for Generative AI Platforms. So this is an upcoming program here. And throughout today's informational webinar, we're going to be touching on two key themes here. What is in this program? What is the curriculum, those learning objectives, as well as how will you be learning? So what is that day-to-day experience like being a participant here in this program? We're going to touch on both of those key areas as we make our way through the session agenda here today. But first and foremost, we want to stop and take an opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to this vibrant community of over 250,000 learners from across the globe. We partner with 50 of the world's leading universities to make world-class education accessible globally. And you can see here, Northwestern Kellogg School of Management is #1 among business schools for education in marketing by U.S. News, World, and Report. As you're thinking about business themes and business education, you really are right at the source here at Northwestern Kellogg School of Management. You can see some of our alumni statistics here. 94% of our learners believe that their experience in our programs had a positive impact on their professional development. 93% are employed, currently working. So certainly as you think about this community that you're joining, we're so pleased to have each and every one of you here with us in this high quality educational format here. I now have the great honor and privilege of welcoming into the spotlight today's keynote subject matter expert, star of the show, and program faculty, Professor Shah. He's a clinical professor of marketing at Kellogg School of Management and the ex-head of global Uber AI and machine learning, bringing all of his expert industry knowledge into this program. Professor Shah, would you like to jump in and greet the audience today?
I'm really excited to bring my last 20 years of experience in products and product analytics to the world. And so I'm really hoping you all join the class and get a lot out of the class as we go through a lot of company case studies, as well as a lot of theoretical frameworks that are applied in reality to a lot of smaller companies than scaled companies. Super excited to dive into this with you.
We certainly can't wait to learn more. Professor Shaw is with us. He's going to stay on with us throughout our time here together today to tell us all about this program. And I'm going to hand the spotlight over in just a moment for him to take away that program overview for us. But before we do that, we wanted to help set the stage on the learning experience here at Northwestern Kellogg. What is it like? What can you expect here? So we talked about Northwestern Kellogg being ranked consistently #1 by U.S. News, World, and the Report. Well, what does that mean? Why is Northwestern Kellogg ranked #1? Here's some of those things you can come to expect from your education here. Top Kellogg faculty you're going to be hearing from here today, who are consistently providing research, education, and practitioner knowledge across the globe. And they're doing this around what works best for adult learners. So faculty at Kellogg are not only thinking about the research themes, the topics, but also how can I open up this knowledge broadly in a way that allows participants to take this learning into a place of real world application. And that's a big part of this program, not only learning these themes, these concepts, theories, tools, frameworks, methodologies, but bringing all of that learning into a place of real-time, real-world scenarios in step with the program. So as you learn, you're going to be able to apply your learning as you go. The peer-to-peer connections that you build throughout your time in a Northwestern Kellogg educational program is a big part of your learning. You're going to be able to see these tools and frameworks apply to your organization, your geography, your challenges. You're also going to, in that peer-to-peer learning, be learning from one another. So you'll see these same themes and concepts coming to life in other geographies, in other industry areas, and throughout other job functions and roles. So you have that opportunity to learn from a global audience, not only learn from one another, but really build those connections. We talk about community a lot in this program, and immediately upon entering this program, you're going to be broadening out your professional community, gaining those peers and colleagues from across the globe, and you'll take those relationships with you beyond this program. And thirdly, finally, that rich interactive experience. You're going to get a taste of that here today. So you can roll up your sleeves, begin interacting with one another, understanding what it's going to be like to learn in a synchronous session here in the program. So you'll get some taste of that here today, but all throughout the program, we've designed it to be highly interactive and engaging, keeping you focused, keeping you energized, and keeping those relationships thriving. It's a fully immersive environment where you really are practicing what you learn in real time, gaining that actionable content. So this topic area here, data strategy for generative AI platforms, this is certainly a relevant topic here today as you think about the importance of data, and the success of a product really depends on all the folks, all the stakeholders that touch the data. So for those of you looking to take an analytical approach to helping your product to become successful, measure performance, really carve out pathways or a roadmap forward based on the data, this program is going to allow you to do just that, to leverage what you know about product data, and put that to use for the growth and advancement of your organization. So you're going to go through that data journey from raw data to how to pull the useful stuff out. What should I be looking at using automations, machine learning, and artificial intelligence to find differentiated value for scaling your organization. So you in this program, you're going to gain those frameworks, tools, as well as that direct experience, that actionable practice in becoming an effective executive data manager for your organization. And of course, as you can see here on the screen at the bottom, big growth in the job market. If you're looking to springboard into career advancement opportunities, data-driven organizations are 23 times more likely to acquire customers, 6 times more likely to retain customers, and 19 times more likely to be profitable. And of course, the global product analytics market is expected to reach 21.3% growth rate in the next 5 years. So as you're looking to join career advancement possibilities, you can see on the horizon a great level of growth here. So this program specifically was designed for product managers, marketing managers, organizational leaders, and professionals who are in business analytics and product analytics. So if this describes you, then this program was really had you in mind. The last 3 bullets here, you might also be an engineer, technology manager, and you want a deeper insights into the way products work. You might be an entrepreneur, consultant, small business owner looking to manage product roadmaps for your organization or your clients. And of course, if you're a CXO or aspiring CXO and you want to make faster, better informed decisions, this program is going to allow you to do that. So we designed this program to be very broad in the sense that lots of different job functions, industry areas, geographies are going to be represented here in the program. This is the crux of why you're here. Is this program right for me? Am I the right person for this program? So certainly as we make our way through the session here today, if you have any questions related to program fit, share with us in the chat there. What is your circumstance? What are you looking to gain out of this program? And allow our advisors the chance to address your questions here on the session and help answer any of those guiding light questions that you have as you think about, is this really the right fit for me? But with that, I now have the great honor and privilege of introducing today's program faculty a little bit more deeply here. Professor Shaw, you met him a moment ago. He's going to take over the spotlight now and tell us more about this program that he's designed. But as you can see here, Professor Shaw, truly top faculty, as we talked about in the previous slide, a world-renowned expert here. He's built more than 10 products that are used by 2 billion people worldwide with an attributed total market cap value of over $3 billion. So he knows what he's doing, has been there before, and he's here to tell us all about how we can be successful as well. He's worked at large tech organizations at early and mature stages. You can use most of his products today. His approach to launching and evolving products starts with the foundation of data-driven decision-making and product analytics. He was a data and product guru at Uber, and he graduated from Northwestern University, so an alum here of the university in industrial engineering, and obtained his MBA at MIT Sloan School of Management. Professor Shaw, that's your formal introduction, but we'd love to learn more from you about your journey to this work, your journey to product analytics. I'm going to go ahead and hand over that spotlight to you now. But just one final reminder to put those questions in as Professor Shaw makes his way through today's program overview. Professor Shaw, let's jump in. Tell us a little bit more about your story.
Yeah, appreciate the intro and appreciate again everyone's time of joining this session. Yeah, and so the last 20 years, I've really been focused on starting any type of products that are 0 to 1 and also taking products from 10 to 100, meaning scale. And all those products, they rely on fundamentally understanding the workflows of how do you acquire a customer, how does a customer check out, how do you support a customer, and the analytics that are used to drive that growth and that value and that profit margin from those products. I would say most of my success isn't creating 0 to 1 ideas, is once they're launched, is being able to manage those ideas to a high growth rate with high profit margins, and hence why such a big market cap for the last 20 years of my products. I've done everything from consumer products that you see every day on your phone to enterprise products that are the behind the scenes products between servers and servers at companies, to different industries in healthcare, agriculture, and other financial industries. So I'm really looking forward to diving into with you all on this class. I'll have 2 live sessions with you where I'll go over my real world experience, and we'll have that kind of interaction in the actual class itself. So appreciate all of you joining, and looking forward to this data journey that I'm going to take you on to really help you make executive decisions based off of data and turning those data into insights. We also have a lot of people I pulled from my network into this program. And so we pulled, this is a sample of 3. Lee is at Clinique, which is owned by Estee Lauder, and a gigantic global company, Estee Lauder. They do a lot of analytics, especially around consumer marketing and social media channels. And her job day to day for the executives, the CEOs at Estee Lauder, is to show them what data they're gathering from Clinique and what actual insights can they take. So we'll go over a really amazing case study that she built for this program, talking about how she manages Clinique day to day and how she grows that brand and grows that product awareness, as well as acquisition of customers. Nick, on the opposite side of the spectrum, is a startup entrepreneur, a product manager for the last 20 years as well. He's really been on the advertising analytics side. Most recently, he started a data marketplace in narrative.io. And Nick's really going to talk about their work from a startup standpoint, working with Pepsi, selling data for Pepsi's marketplace, and understanding how to grow foot traffic for retail stores for Pepsi to buy their products. And so it's going to be a really interesting startup case study. And George is the engineer by trade and a creative Willy Wonka engineer by heart. And what I mean by that is George is always on the cutting edge. He's always looking at new capabilities and new technologies and understanding how to apply that to achieve business outcomes. The ultimate thinker in workflows from an engineering standpoint, George is going to take us through a case study that he's built with his company, Pather.ai, in between a startup and a big company, where he's supporting Fortune 500 retailers around the globe in understanding the analytics of their customers, understanding some significant customer support issues, understanding shoplifting for retailers, all through the journey of building this visualization products and data analytics and insights. So really excited about these 3 case studies, and we have a couple more that'll be in the program that we're excited to show you as well. So let's go a little bit over the program overview, the 6 modules that we have in this program. The key takeaways here is that we're very outcome focused. I've learned in my career and also in my teachings is that a lot of executives confuse the outcome that they're trying to achieve. And so we hammer that home within the first module all the way through the last module, is what is your outcome that you're trying to achieve? Is it profit margin? Is it value? Is it acquiring customers? Is it some other objective? Is it customer NPS? Is it a software objective? But that outcome is very important. So we teach you how to develop your own optimization equation and achieving your outcome, and how you can use that as a daily toolkit for yourself and for your team as an executive to make decisions. And we provide you with a bunch of my playbooks as well as my colleagues' playbooks within this program. We're really excited about the time we spent on that and how applicable those playbooks are across all industries and all products. We're also going to hammer home the data and culture and the culture of data within an organization. We want to make sure that you add value add and high value capture ability to your organization through your teams. The only way that you can scale these workflows and scale data collection and scale insights and decision making is by implementing a data culture. We're also going to apply 2 top-level strategic frameworks that we'll talk about in a minute and give you a bunch of tactical tools for you to manage your data insights and your data decision making at your daily jobs. We're going to put your product skills at work. I'm a big believer in not just the case study aspect of work or the theoretical frameworks, but also you coming with your own idea or your own project and implementing it in real time as we are teaching you this. So we will take you through a data product requirements doc where you will take your own 0 to 1 idea or own optimization of a product through the PRD process. And then we're going to help you design thoughtful product analytic workflows and other optimization equations that will help you create and capture value of what you're facing currently with your customers in that product data world. So in module one, we're really starting out with the foundation of what it means and why it's valuable to consider building up your skill set in product data. We'll set the foundation for the product mindset and your organizational outcomes. Whether you are a for-profit business or a nonprofit business, there are outcomes that you both can achieve that really drive the roadmap for companies strategically for your investors and for your board members and your customers and users. We'll begin by establishing this foundation of what types of data exist for you to play with. And so in that data, we have qualitative and quantitative data. We'll talk about the importance of that data collection, structured and unstructured, and how do you establish this data-driven culture in this massively connected and digital age that you really just, it's table stakes now to be able to collect this data and to be able to use it to impact your decisions and outcomes. And then in module two, we're really going to talk about the high-level frameworks and the workflows. So the two frameworks we really focus on are the double diamond product process. What's the problem and what's the solution? And then we also talk about the product analytic needs framework. Adopted from Maslow's hierarchy of data science, we really talk about how do you build this pyramid of collecting data all the way to machine learning that data. And you don't have to be an engineer or data scientist. This is really telling you the vocabulary that you'll have to speak when you interact with engineers or data scientists from an executive mindset of how to direct them from taking raw data into a machine learning model to make probabilistic decisions that are very important for your company that are outcome based. And then in module three, we're really focused on how do you execute a data-driven product. We'll identify how you research internally and externally, inbound and outbound, how you take market data and how you take current product workflow data as evidences to make decisions. What we found is that once you actually research this data and create this flywheel of collecting this data within your organization, really the culture of the organization shifts to not only make gut decisions, but to have that superpower making data-driven decisions. And that enables trust from the top all the way down to the bottom, that there is some substance to making these decisions from a business standpoint. And we want to examine how powerful product data is in your organization and the methods that you use to collect and refine that collection, and really understanding the return on investment of collecting this data. Throughout module one and module three, we will have numerous company examples that we'll go through in these modules within the lectures that you'll see, as well as in the action of the assignments that you'll see. And those real world company examples, they are real, not fiction. And so you'll be able to see what other companies have done over the last couple of years. And then in module four, it's really about organizing and the art of presenting the result of your data. And so we really talk about the art of classifications and the analytics within our product analytics needs framework. And almost every product that you see today on the software side, on the web, they're classified in some sense, and they're classified for the user to make sense of it. And so we'll really go through how you build classifications that will help you position your product to the market. And then we really talk about how you organize your data into categories internally that it's vital for this day and age of privacy, security, compliance, as well as actionable insights and business intelligence. And so the classification lecture is one that we're very passionate about because it takes the first three modules and starts providing that end result that is the magic that when you apply that to your companies, people will be wowed by your ability to be able to do that and direct your teams to do that. And then module five, this is where we have a little bit of fun. We start visualizing. And so once you have data and you have insights and you really start classifying them, you have to tell a story around those data and insights. And that story can be very powerful. And so we use company examples that I've had at Uber, and we talk about the powerful tools and platforms we've built to help talk about those stories. We talk about it from a personal standpoint, all the way from a product standpoint, and then to a big data standpoint. So you'll learn how to visualize the data from different Zoom levels, as well as executive dashboards. And then within that visualizations will help you identify trends, clusters, and patterns and present those results. We've brought in experts that we've consulted with in the visualization aspect here, the top 5 visualization engineers in the world from Facebook and Uber, who have contributed content to this to help you all apply their playbooks and visualizations. And then finally, in the last module, we're completing your journey and we're teaching you how to take that raw data from module 1 and what you're collecting and turning that into optimizations and automations. We'll go through a capstone case study in terms of the Uber pickup case study where Uber was losing billions of dollars, and how we built this automated platform and this automated optimization equation to be able to remove that costly $3 billion from Uber's balance sheet. And then we'll help you learn how to create a machine learning heuristic for your own products that, again, you don't have to be an engineer or data scientist for, but as an executive, how do you direct your teams into implementing these heuristics that help for automating decisions? And throughout this whole module 1 through module 6 journey, we will go through company examples, but then we'll also ask you in real life to apply your own example or your own idea in your product requirements documents. And so it'll be a great way to use what we call mens y manos, mind and hands. I'll teach you the mind component, but you're going to use your menace, your hands, to be able to apply it and do it. Great. And one of the biggest frameworks that we talked about is this, what we call the double diamond framework. And really what you're asking yourself at the beginning of this product requirements document is, are we solving the right problem? Most individuals think that they're solving the right problem when they start looking at data, but then when they start gathering research and evidences, they realize that they went too far downstream and they might not have the right problem broken down. So the key is to diverge your thinking of what you stubbornly believe your gut is telling you the problem is, and get some evidences to make sure that you have the right problem that you're solving for before you invest too far downstream. And then once you converge on that right problem by talking to people, understanding the data that exists inbound and outbound, then you diverge and converge on the solution again. Maybe the solution could be very simple and not have to be an automated algorithm, or maybe the solution has to be very complex and you have to build your own technical platform to solve a group of problems. And so we really leverage this framework to frame our entire journey of going from raw data for your product all the way to kind of machine learning automation. And then the product requirements document that we've talked about, really the purpose of this document is really to take an idea that you have in your head and teach you a process of how you can launch that idea and scale that idea. The important thing for me is that it's not just launching an idea to solve a problem that's transactional. You and I have daily problems, but we don't know if our daily problems scale to the world. So this class is really teaching you how to take these problems and build scalable solutions using a data mindset. So we articulate the purpose of the product and the persona that will be using the product. Through your PRD, you will be describing the customer and the users of the product and the different segmentations. You'll outline the workflows that they face and the intent of what they're trying to do, with the context of data being important throughout the workflow. And then we'll help you understand the successive measurement of those workflows. And then you will do everything that we talked about in the previous modules. You'll learn how to collect data, how to classify it, how to visualize it, and then finally how to develop your optimization equation and make decisions off of it in your PRD with your own idea. And then some of the examples of industry case studies that we're going to do, we're going to go over Climate Corp, which was bought by Monsanto and then Bayer in Germany. We'll talk about their FieldView product. We'll examine their farming application, how they collected data and how they classified it to improve their customer experience for farmers around the globe. We'll talk about Uber's destination setting. So everyone mostly here has probably used Uber or a version of ride sharing. And when you use the map to figure out where you're going, that's actually a very complex problem for a lot of users globally. Users in Saudi Arabia versus users in America really treat addresses different. And we'll go over how we collect qualitative and a little bit of quantitative data to launch some features that relied on its significant cost savings from cancellations. And then we'll talk about Apple's accident detection platform, a little bit futuristic out, but something that they thought about. We'll apply our knowledge in module 4 of classifying data and figuring out what data we can collect and to classify that to trigger actions when someone is in an accident using Apple's maps. And then finally, our capstone case, we'll talk about Uber and machine learning and the pickups problem that Uber faces globally and how we can build a machine learning heuristic and a platform to be able to solve that massive financial problem for Uber globally. So super excited for these 4 case studies that we collaborated with the industry on, and for you all to see some really amazing examples of how you can apply this day to day for scale.
I think this is where I jump back in here, Professor Shaw. And thank you for taking us through the program overview components of our time here together. Let's go ahead and turn our attention now to the learning experience. I'm going to walk us through this component for a few moments, and then we'll open the floor back up for questions with Professor Shaw here. But as you think about that day-to-day experience of being a participant here in the program, there's 2 key words that I always like to call your attention to when it comes to this program here. It's highly interactive as well as highly convenient. And so that's what we're going to describe here on this slide, how the program is helping you to build those relationships, to stay engaged. It's highly interactive, but also it's designed to fit with your schedule. So there's the convenience as well. We wanted to make sure this program was accessible to full-time working professionals. So all of the material for this program, you can access it from your mobile device or from a tablet. We use an app where you can watch the videos and engage in discussion polls, real world exercises. All of these components to the course are available on the go. You have access to this program for an entire year. So beyond that intensive sort of six modules that you'll be going through, you'll be able to touch back into these themes, continue connecting with your peers and learning throughout the course of the whole entire year. The pedagogical approach that we call is called bite-sized learning. So at the beginning of each week, a set of content is released. The content here on your slide contains live faculty webinars, case studies, real world application exercises, global network of collaborative opportunities. You'll have a dedicated program support team there with you. Live office hours will be scheduled. You'll have peer learning opportunities. All within that content, you have an entire week to make your way through that content around a schedule that works for you. So you'll be able to watch on-demand videos, step away from those videos, roll up your sleeves and really tinker with these ideas, bring them to life through a variety of different activities and exercises. And much of this you'll be able to design around your own schedule. So this is a fully immersive environment where you can go back and watch those on-demand videos as many times as you need to as you're practicing these skills through the interactions and activities that we've designed within that week. So that gives you a high level of convenience. You're able to access when you need, what you need, and where you need. And you're able to design a schedule that works for you, but you're doing so in a highly collaborative and relationship-oriented way. That gives you that high level sense of what we're doing here in this program. We really wanted to break down those barriers of space and time that you would see in a traditional classroom environment. So in a traditional classroom, you have a certain number of seats in the room. You have a certain number of minutes to get through a certain set of content. So you're really constrained in that way. But here in the online space, we can provide you with the curriculum in a way that allows you to really immerse yourself fully at your own pace around a schedule that works for you. As you learn, you'll learn as you go and you'll apply as you learn. So it really is a rich and engaging learning environment that really reaches beyond the scope of what's possible within a classroom setting. So it's very exciting, a chance for you to be learning at the forefront of product analytics here in a way that allows you to fully immerse yourself, interact, engage, build relationships, and do so from the comfort of your own schedule and your own environment. So a lot in store on that day-to-day aspect. You have program leaders in this program in addition to your course faculty. As you think of the various teams at various layers of relationships that you have here in the program. I'm a visual learner. I like to think of it as concentric circles of teaching and learning. You have yourself there at the center. You have your peers who you're learning together with and from. Your peers represent all different geographies, all different backgrounds, different industry areas, years of work experience, job functions. So you're going to see these concepts come to life for you in your organization with your role, but you're going to see them in that peer-to-peer learning coming to life for your peers as well. So you'll get that deep dive knowledge, you'll get that expanded scope of understanding with those peer-to-peer interactions. So you have yourself, you have your peers, you have your program leaders. These are industry experts who've been called into this program to guide your day-to-day learning. They host live office hours, a chance for you to turn on your audio, your visual, and engage in live discussion with your teaching team and peers. You have the guest speakers that Professor talked about. You have, of course, our program faculty who you met here today, and then this broader ecosystem here at Northwestern Kellogg School of Management. Really that call to action to bring your learning to life and to take these themes and concepts and bring them into the world in a way that's innovative, that really creates transformation. So many different layers of teaching and learning and relationship building going on throughout your time here in the program. All of this culminating in a chance for you to earn a certificate of completion. This is a credential here from Northwestern Kellogg School of Management that formalizes your training and really helps you to springboard into career advancement opportunities. If you're looking to get more into leadership roles or get more into analytic roles, certainly having a formal credential here from Northwestern Kellogg School of Management is going to help showcase your learning, formalize your training, and help advance you in the job market as well. So this is our last and final slide here of the day. We invite you to go ahead and open up your chat. If you haven't done so already, you'll see various interactions there. There's a link in the chat box that'll take you right over to the course website where you can download the full course brochure. You can schedule an appointment with one of our program advisors and go on over to the course website for more information. Again, you have the brochure there. You have an opportunity to schedule a one-on-one appointment with one of our advisors. And you also have the opportunity to begin that application process if you're ready to get started. And they're going to be able to help you with any of the logistical components for this program: dates, times, scheduling, any course policy information. How do I earn that certificate of completion? What's the evaluative criteria for the program? And of course, the registration and enrollment process. Are there flexible payment options, special group enrollment pricing? What are those flexible and transparent financing options? So your program advisor is going to be able to walk you through these three areas. Again, that's logistics, course policy, registration, and enrollment. So certainly get connected there if you haven't done so already. Again, using the link there in your chat, go on over to that course website where you can schedule a one-on-one appointment. And we also provided an email address if you prefer. That's there in the chat for you as well, kellogg@emeritus.org. You can simply send us an email and we'll connect you with an advisor that way as well. So with that, we've reached the end of our overview here. I'm going to open up our questions now. Professor, if I can invite you back in here. So this is a question about the difference between mixed panel Google Analytics versus product analytics, and what's the difference between data scientists and product analytics. So can you maybe break this down for the broader audience here? I think it's a great question.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, two-part question. So we'll answer them separately. So the first part is product analytics is really a function, right? It's really about understanding what products you've launched, all the workflows of that product. For example, if I've launched an e-commerce application, the product analytics I'm looking for is how my customers start using it for the first time, how my customers check out, when my customers have an issue, how do they get customer supports? Product analytics is all the foundation of that. And so each of those actions, those user actions, they have workflows and you have data throughout in terms of eyeball time, where they clicked, where they had issues along the way that you're collecting to then optimize their user workflows. And that product analytics is really a theme that we're teaching you in this program from bottoms up and top down. Now, mixed panel and Google Analytics, they're a solution set. So usually once you have workflows identified and the data identified, you need to present that with some solutions. Mixed panel and Google Analytics in particular are business intelligence solutions. So all your data and all your workflows would flow into these two products and they'd start presenting dashboards, trends, actions to take, et cetera. So really that's the end result. And we talk about that in our module 5 and module 6. But the difference is product analytics is an actual function where you can get a job for and you manage day to day. Has a lot going with it around workflows and optimizations and outcomes. And the two other things are just tools and solutions that you would actually implement. And then from the second part of the question, data scientist, product analyst, growth product manager, and product data scientist. So 4 roles. They are 4 distinct roles. Product analysts are typically younger out of undergraduate. And really what they're in charge of doing is querying data from those workflows. And they're really developing reports for other people to make decisions. Sometimes, depending on the company, you could give them a pretty vague solution. Hey, our checkouts have dropped, or our basket size has dropped, or our users have dropped. And they'll go find data that exists and give you a report and those insights. Now, data scientists, usually a master's or a PhD, and you're telling them, hey, our checkouts are dropped. Is there a way to automate signals so that when checkouts drop, we do a different action and hopefully our checkouts increase? So they're really in charge of providing these and implementing these statistical frameworks for machine learning. And that's really the distinction between the two. They usually are on the same job ladder. So usually product analysts come into a company and they have a data scientist that they report to. And it's a different in degree and different in what they're implementing. Then growth product manager and product data scientist. Growth product manager, they really own one workflow and they really own how to acquire new customers and everything that goes with it. How much does it cost to acquire a customer? What's the revenue that we can get from a customer? How do we grow our revenue profit and the growth of those users? And so they're really focused on products that enable those outcomes. And the product data scientists, they're usually ex-data scientists or ex-product managers, and they're building platforms. And those platforms are typically for a bigger company. They're really data collection platforms, data visualization platforms that allow for multiple machine learning models and multiple data scientists internally to iterate and go faster. Usually those are internal platform people that really are in the roles. And so that's the answer for those 2 questions. Hopefully that answered that. Feel free to ask more questions on that.
Thank you so much, Professor Shaw. It's super helpful to hear your responses there. Thank you for your generosity and sharing your insights here. And Professor Shaw, I'd love to hear any final words of wisdom from you as we close out the session here. But to those of you on the line still, grab that link if you haven't done so already there in the chat, or that email address. We want to make sure that high level of support, relationship building, we want to make sure that begins right here, right now with today's session. We don't want you to have to wait until the program begins. So get connected with an advisor, get that one-on-one mentorship and support that's going to get you everything you need, all the help leading into this course launch here just around the corner. Professor Shaw, as we close out our time here together, any final words of wisdom that you'd like to leave us with?
I'm excited for all of you to join this session. We've really curated some of the best content from global individuals, product manager, data scientists at big companies, but really executives and how they make decisions. And the insight that I've learned throughout my career, no matter how junior you are, so when you get to senior, it's really about focusing on that outcome, being able to make decisions that de-risk yourself in the company. And we really focus on how you're able to do that, the vocabulary around that, and the process around that. So I'm excited to accelerate your careers based on my experience by teaching you all of this content.
Thank you again, Professor Shaw. I'm going to go ahead and close out the session here today, but it's been an absolute honor and pleasure learning from you about this course. Thank you for putting this course together and for being here to tell us all about it. We really appreciate your insights here. We are going to close out the session for now, but we hope you will see us just around the corner in the program. For now, we sign off with a heartfelt good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to all of you from around the globe. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you back soon. Bye-bye.